Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to be answering the question, are lightning lanes worth it? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and let's jump in.
All right, thanks, Alex. I also would like to introduce our new segment of introducing ourselves.
Who are you, Sean?
Yeah, well, I'm Sean Doyle, and my relevance to Disney is I've been going to Disney parks since 1972, with the first year of Disney World opening. And then I went basically almost every year, at least every other year, until I was a teenager. And then when I became an adult, I started bringing my kids to Disney World. And then eventually Disneyland about 15 years ago was my first time at Disneyland. And Alex and Lena, you guys have a lot more experience with Disneyland and even recently.
So I've been going to Disneyland since 95. My mom's best friend from high school worked at Disneyland. And after 15 years, and she worked at Disneyland since high school. So by the time I was born, it had been the 15 years. So after about 10 or 15 years, I forget the actual number, employees and cast members can basically take whoever they want, whenever they want, to the park. And so she took me basically every single year as I was growing up. And then I was old enough to live. My family lives about 5 miles, no, three miles, 5 minutes away from the parks.
Yeah.
And so we probably clocked in, well, I clocked in well over 300 visits over my lifetime. It's probably higher. And then I had to drag my wife into it. So sorry.
Yeah.
And then just tell people that you don't like Disney.
I don't like Disney. I've been going since 2010.
Well, this is a good perspective to put me and Alex in their place.
So Lena's first exploration of Disneyland was she came over to my house one time, and there's a transit that gets you to Disneyland fairly easily from where she lived. And her whole
fairly easily.
But her whole life, her parents lived a lie that Disneyland was like in Timbuktu, only for her to realize it was 30 minutes away from her.
Well, that would be a real bummer to realize.
I didn't grow up with it, so I guess that's why I don't care for it.
All right, so we're here to answer a very important question. Sean, when you go to Disneyland, you buy something called the Lightning Lane. And when we go to Disneyland, we do not buy said product called the Lightning Lane. And the $36 to $46 question of the day is Lightning Lane worth it? And I think we should start off by defining that there's 3 to 4 different packages of this Lightning Lane, right? Mm-hmm. And so first off, you have the single pass Lightning Lane.
What does that mean?
So you enjoy a Lightning Lane entry at one of our most popular attractions. So for a small fee, you get to buy a Lightning Lane, just a one-time use.
For one ride.
Just one ride.
How much is that?
It depends on the ride.
Probably too much.
Yeah, it depends on the ride. I can't see the actual price. It won't let me unless I have a ticket, but there is a Lightning Lane for just one.
For one.
That just means that the price it fluctuates.
Fluctuates, yeah.
They're not going to see it. If they're not going to show it to you unless you buy a ticket.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people are buying that one, so that's just a default. That one's not worth it unless you are dying to do one ride and you just can't wait.
You want to guarantee that you ride that one ride on your visit. Yeah.
Yeah. So the more popular option is what most people are familiar with, which is the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, which is you buy it for the day, and essentially you basically get to go on as many rides as you can during your visit.
But that's misleading the way you announced that, because it's as many as
with a couple of caveats.
Yeah.
That's why I said as many rides as you can. Let me add as many rides as you can schedule within.
And there's a lot of things in 10 that you need to unpack later. Yeah.
Yes. So the biggest one is that this one does not work for Radiator Springs if you're in DCA, and it doesn't work for Rise of the Resistance if you're in Disneyland. Those are 2 separate products that you gotta go buy. Maybe that's what the single lanes are for. Okay. The other thing is you can only hold one Lightning Lane at a time, and you can get one every 2 hours. Okay. But then there's a bigger caveat, and that is you can theoretically get one every 2 hours. It's really depending on availability and busyness of the park. So if you get there at let's just say rope drop at 8 a.m., you can get your lightning lane at 8. You'll probably get an 8:30 return time, right? But by 10:30, most rides like a Splash Mountain in the middle of summer, you're out until like 7 p.m. Right? And so your spacing is really big, and then you got to wait the 2 hours. However, I learned a trick.
Okay, what's your trick?
I learned a trick, and Sean, maybe you after
I think you told me about your trick, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
After I share my trick, you should definitely share your experience with Lightning Lane because I think it's also funny. But so here's the trick. So the Lightning Lane, when you book it, right, there's on average it's a 2-hour gap between when you book one to when you can book the next. The trick is sometimes your lightning lanes exceed that time. And so again, you can only hold one lightning lane at a time. Okay. So you can't like book 2 to 2 to 2, or you can't get
you don't want to book something that's 5 hours out because then you lose that
2-hour gap. Yeah.
2-hour gap.
Right. So what I found is you should book that one ride that's 5 hours out. Okay. Even though it's 5 hours out, but then you can refresh the page on the app, and somebody sometimes will cancel for whatever reason or not attend, or just there's more availability. If you refresh and you're lucky, you'll get a time slot like an hour later instead of 5 hours later. And so then you can book that one, it'll automatically book, and then you go. But I did not know you can refresh the page.
I was not aware of that either until you mentioned it to me, and I forgot about it until we said it just now.
No, I get that you refresh the page, but I didn't know that it would book you into the next available slot. Like when at the moment of time when you book the lightning lane, you will see the next available spot. It happens to be 5 hours from now. But in 5 minutes time, it could very be that a group of people just said never mind, or went to a different line, or changed it up, or whatever, and like 50 of them just became available. And so if you refresh your page, then it'll give you the one in 10 minutes, not the one in 5 hours. So it's a crapshoot, right? It's luck of the draw, but it's still better than waiting 5 hours.
It is. My argument against it is that's not what I want to be doing with my time at Disney, is playing with this app and refreshing it constantly just to, so I don't have to wait in line as long. There's a lot of things I'd rather be doing at Disney than playing with their damn app. And I would, I'd add this rant to ordering food and checking on ride times and stuff,
entering the park, exiting the park.
I could use a Disney visit that didn't require the app at all. And I think I would enjoy it much, much more.
And it's funny you say that, because prior to COVID, that used to be the Disneyland experience. A big, huge comparison from Disney World to Disneyland was Disneyland was at your leisure, right? There was no concept of a reservation. The fast passes were paper.
I used to love those.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And I don't know if Disneyland and Disney World did the reservations about the same time, because Disney World didn't have the concept of reservations.
They did not, but you would from what I've heard, most people when they go to the parks, they go and stay on an on-site property. And at least back then, you used to be able to build out some of your schedule out through the hotel, which meant you had an itinerary going into it. You kind of already had some idea of what rides you were going to do and when. Versus Disneyland was wherever you wanted to go, wherever your heart desired.
Yeah, they used to be a benefit at Disney World, and I think it's gone now. That if you were staying on premise or in an on-premise hotel, you got an hour early at a given park a day, and the entire hotel, and I think all the hotels were synced on the same schedule. So I typically wouldn't stay on premise. I would stay at another hotel or an Airbnb, and so I would always look to see, well, what park are all the hotel guests going to, and I'd pick a different park. And I could change right up to that morning. In fact, you never had to tell Disney what park you were going to. You just showed up at the park and went in, as long as you had a ticket. But anyway, we're getting way off the track of lightning lanes.
So to answer the question though, like, do you think the lightning lane, the multi-pass is worth it then, given that you can refresh? Because my answer up until the moment I learned that you could refresh was hell no, because the occasional scenario is like you get billed $36 or whatever it costs, whether you get there at 8 a.m. to rope drop or whether you get there at 8 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
to park
Yeah.
out, right?
So,
And so-
there's a couple variables, right? There's how often do you go to Disneyland? How long are you going to be at Disneyland? And
how
what
crowded
time-
is and
Yeah,
how
what's-
crowded is the park?
Yeah. So if I'm only going to go to Disneyland every other year, every 5 years, Lightning Lane is worth it. But I'm also going to rope drop each day because I'm not going there all that often. I want to get my, all the bang for that buck.
But it's not truly worth it if you go like dead smack in the middle of summer when everybody's there and it's like the crowded day, because you may still only be able to get 3, maybe 4 lightning lane rides.
Yeah, because if the park is that busy, everyone has paid for the Lightning Lane. Now, does Disneyland have a concept of Lightning Lane being sold out?
That's like asking, does Disney have a concept of turning money away? What kind of a question is that, Sean?
Well, I know with the reservation system, they do stop selling certain things.
Yeah, but that's
That's
physical
control,
capacity. That's
right?
physical capacity to the park.
Versus money
There's
in their
50,
pockets.
yeah, there's 50 rides inside the park at any given time. There's any permutation of possibilities of where you can be.
Will rides would Rise of the Resistance, well,
Rise of the Resistance.
yeah, Rise of the Resistance or Radiator Springs sell out for a particular day?
I've never seen a. Let me rephrase that. I have seen the sellouts, but the only sellouts I've really seen is Splash Mountain in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
The only one I usually see.
Yeah, it just no longer shows up on the app to pick as a
Right,
lightning.
to pick a spot. But yes, it is very common for apps. I mean, for rides to run out. I've seen that on the app where it just says not
Like-
available.
Rise and Radiator Springs is not necessarily a lightning lane that you typically would pay well in advance for. It's something
Right,
that
well,
if
also
you
keep
didn't
in mind
have it, you could buy it immediately inside the park.
Yeah. Keep in mind it's an extra $20 fee if you wanted to do Rise
Mhm.
on top of the $36 you spent for all the other rides.
Yeah.
So you're really paying for the rides that do support it, except the 2 big ones in the park.
Yeah. So I think the big variable is how often am I going to Disneyland?
Disneyland, yeah.
On if Lightning Lane is worth it. If I'm attending as much as you did last year, no, I don't think I'd ever get Lightning Lane. I would just
You would
watch.
think and you would think that there would be like a Disney Magic Pass. So for our other favorite theme park,
What do you mean? Disney?
well, so for Knott's Berry Farm,
Uh-huh.
we can, as an annual pass holder, buy a one-time fee of $700, a one-time per visit shortcut. Like we can get a ride for free every time, and cut the line.
What?
Yeah, but
Wait, cut what line?
you go straight, like it's the lightning lane.
For one ride?
For one ride every time you go, which is what I have already as a Premier.
Yeah, why would you pay 700?
Because not everybody buys Premier. So like if you want to do, you'd have to pay $700.
Oh, versus
So,
buy the premiere.
But the takeaway is that they
That's a
offer
lot more than just the annual pass was.
it is, but the point is that they offer a package where you can get to ride the line, to cut the line as an annual purchase, which is something that Disneyland, I would, if as a Disneyland cast member or a Magic Key holder, I would gladly spend an extra $500-$600 to have Lightning Lane every time, because I'm added up, right? It's $36 per visit. We did 60 visits.
I think we did more than 60, but okay.
Right?
At least I did
That's
more.
$2,160. So paying $500
Yeah, I guess
to
it-
save $1,500 is worth it for me.
Yeah, so my very first experience with anything that's like a Lightning Lane or what was it called before Lightning Lane? The
The genie.
Fast Pass. Oh, the Genie.
And then
Genie was in between the Fast Pass and Lightning Lane. Was in Universal Studios Hollywood. They had the concept of a VIP pass. So you paid for your regular pass, and then it was like $49 a person on top of that, and you got a badge that you could just walk right into the single rider lane.
We have that still. We haven't gotten to that tier of Lightning Lane yet, Sean.
Oh, we haven't.
No,
I thought we
all,
were talking
all we've been talking about is the poor people lightning lanes.
because if they had something like that
No,
at
yeah.
Disney,
Let's
I
call it
most
middle
likely would be paying for that.
Let's call it middle class, because I always tell Disney my favorite joke, every cast member, every single time when you get there, they're like single rider, or they have either single rider, um, standby, or lightning lane. And I'm like, which one's the poverty lane? And they're like, what? I'm like, the one that I can't afford to spend, because it's $36 per person in your party, right? So 4 people in my party, we're spending $144 a visit on top
So
of the $200
that's
ticket.
really not that much. If like I go back to how often do you plan on going to the park? If it's one time every 2 years, $36 on top of your ticket's not that bad, because it helps make waiting in line a little bit better, because at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 rides that day you're going to be able to just walk right on.
Potentially.
So
So
then wouldn't it be cheaper for a single rider?
I don't think it's worth it. Like, unless you're really only coming once and you're not gonna come back for another 5 years, I don't think it's worth it, because it's better to get that rope drop. You can easily knock out 4 or 5 rides in the
Mhm.
morning. And if you wait between that 8 to 12, you can knock out another 4 or 5 rides there. So you're talking at least 8 to 10 rides, which are gonna be the good ones.
Mhm.
And you just leisurely stroll your way through the rest of the day and save yourself $36 times the number of people in your party. But if you guys are only coming for one time, then pay whatever fee. I should also note though that you also do get a Disney Photo Pass downloads for the day.
Yeah, I think that's hit and miss. I paid extra for the photo pass a couple times and then end up almost never using it. Or if the park's busy, the people in line for the photo pass opportunities, I'm like, I don't want to wait in line for that. If I'm going to wait in line, I'm going to wait in line for a ride.
I think this would be a perfect time to let people know about your experience at Disneyland last October.
Oh, you want me to?
In
So-
May?
No, yeah, last April. Sorry,
Or April. It was
April. Last April. Yeah.
Not that it matters to the story, but yeah, I was in Disneyland for I think a total of 4 days, and I brought my daughter with me. My daughter is 32 years old, but me and my daughter did the park, and we actually met up with Alex and Lena, and I did have the lightning lane.
You didn't find out until the 4th day.
Well, I think I used it the first day when it was just Mindy and myself. But then the rest of the time I completely forgot about it until we were standing in line for something. And
Star Wars?
Was it Star Wars? And it was like
No,
almost,
I thought you were. No. We were in we were having ice cream on a bench on Friday after team.
that's
and,
right.
And we were gonna go do Monsters Inc. And you're like, oh, I can get a lightning lane.
Oh yeah, and then you brought up you have Lightning Lane, and we waited in Star Wars for Space Mountain for
like
2 hours. I'm like, I guess I could have used it then, but I forgot. But ultimately, it was only like what like $36 a person a day that I paid for it. So
there goes your dessert. All right. So basically, more of the story, folks, is if you are going to buy a lightning lane and you truly want to make it worth it, make sure you use it.
make sure you use it. Make sure you have a game plan for the lightning lane.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is not.
Now, in Disneyland, I don't remember, but in Disney World, Disney World when it was still the genie thing, you could pick your rides before the park opened that day, but only like within 2 hours before the park opened. So if you woke up at 5 a.m., you can pick your first 2 rides and then go to the park, or at least the first ride. I can't remember exactly how it worked. Is that still true with Lightning Lane?
No, I think you need to be on property somewhere somehow. Mm-hmm. Although I've heard rumors that you might be able to pick one before the night or something like that, but I don't do Lightning Lane because again, it's not worth it for me.
I'm like, it's a job opportunity.
I know, right?
Thinking about here for the people who just want to be at Disney all day.
Well, I think there's an episode to be had about how to strategically use your phone at Disney to get the most bang for your buck. because we've done it where we go to, again, I don't want to spoil anything for a future episode, but lightning lane training is a big one. Right? Mobile food ordering is a big one because you can go wait in line for a long time for food, or you can mobile order, or in reverse. We've
Yeah,
had that experience.
I've seen that experience too. I think I was with you when I just wandered in and ordered something. You were on mobile for a while,
You ate your food before I even got mine.
but I, I dislike the mobile ordering. I don't want to sit there and futz with my phone. I just want to walk right up and order my food. Or if it's a sit down restaurant, the other thing I dislike is it's almost impossible to get a table at Disney unless you have reservations.
It's too crowded. Yeah. We opportunities for an MCP server here to basically track busyness and people's locations.
Well, I think we need one that helps you make dinner reservations.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to Disney World, you need to do it 6 months in advance, and that's a
Yeah.
lot of pre-planning that I don't like to do.
There's only like three restaurants in Disneyland that are like that.
And then, I mean, the one with the, what is it called? The one
The
in the
Blue
park?
Bayou's
It's not
one.
that good.
Yeah, Blue Bayou's not that good, but it's one where you got to book 2-3
Yeah.
months in advance. The gas lamp, this one.
I don't know. I've never been.
Yeah, and DCA.
Yeah, and DCA, the gaslight one, the lamplight. There you go. The lamplight one is one, and then the Cathay Circle is the other one.
Mm. I don't know.
All right.
I just don't like the whole idea of having to use my phone. Like, I'm there to enjoy the magic.
Well,
not to
we
use
have
my
an option for you still. We haven't gotten to that tier yet.
Oh, it's enough.
We're on
Let's
tier 3.
go. How
Yeah.
many tiers are they?
4.
Oh, okay.
Tier 3 is a Lightning Lane Premier Pass.
Okay.
So this is not for the faint of heart. If you have, and it depends on the day of the week that you go. Right now we are looking at $449 per guest on top of your $200 ticket. So if you got an extra,
$49 on top of your ticket.
right? So if you have an extra $449 per person in your
Per
party,
day.
yeah,
Hell no.
per person per day,
Okay.
That's
You
twice the price of the park ticket.
you can get a non-refundable and non-transferable.
Oh, that's
Lightning
nice.
Lane.
What do you do with that?
So it's a premier pass, and that one basically gets you one ride in both parks.
One ride.
One
Well,
ride.
time. It gets you one. Sorry, it gets you one time on each ride.
Okay,
both
that's more like it.
Single
Okay.
ride.
Yeah, including Radiator Springs and
So I would do that if I was only ever going to go to Disneyland once in my life, and none of the rides were down for me.
Bucket list.
yeah. Now the problem is it's still subject to availability, right? So if you if you go in and you wait until like 5 p.m. to try to book rides and they're sold out, then they're sold out.
Really?
Yeah, I mean
They don't even guarantee you that you get
No.
one. Oof.
entry is subject to availability and cannot be guaranteed.
So going back to my very first experience with some sort of VIP pass, it was in Hollywood. It was in Universal Studio Hollywood, and you got the lanyard that just said VIP, and you could walk onto any ride as many times as you want to. I think my son was like 7 or 8 years old when I went to Universal Studios with him, and we rode the Mummy like a dozen times back to back. We just kept getting off the ride, walking right over and bypassing the entire line and just walking right onto the Mummy. And we just kept doing it until my son said, "Yeah, I think I've had enough of this ride."
Yeah. So
Now, I'd love to see something like that for Disney, and I would pay about $450 to do that. But if I had to also schedule which rides I want to do, then no, it's not worth it. If you just had a magic band or a lanyard that just allowed you to walk into each ride and bypass the line, then $500 is worth it.
Let's do some back of the napkin math because we're gonna compare. So let's assume it's $200 to visit the park, right? And let's assume a family of 5, right?
Okay.
Times 5, you're $1,000. And then you need 36 times 5 is $180. So you need basically $2,200 gets you the basic lightning lanes Plus, if you want to do rides, it's another $20. So about another $100, right?
Mhm.
Now, if you want to do the premier pass, it's $200 plus the $449. That's $650 per person in your party times 5 people. That's $3,245. Remember that one, Sean. Okay.
I'm not going to, but yeah.
The reason I'm asking you is because there is one more tier.
That's the rich.
Oh,
one.
you said there's only 4.
Well, here's what we're gonna see. This is what we're gonna see, right? There's the VIP tour, usually commonly seen with celebrities.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah.
But okay, so here it is. Up to 10 guests,
Ooh, okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 7 hours minimum at $500 an hour.
Mm.
Wait,
So
Each or for the 10 guests?
for the 10 guests. So if you're $500 times 7, that's $3,500.
that hits close to the one that you just covered.
Yeah. So if you have more than 5 people, then and it's not even a lightning lane because you go through the back.
Yeah,
of
you're
everywhere.
escorted everywhere.
Yeah, you're escorted everywhere. So for a couple $100 more,
Mm.
then you might as well just do the VIP.
I think you should.
We should
I
do
think because that guarantees that you're going to be on every ride that's running that day.
Yeah, because you get expedited access to all attractions, including the classic offerings in Fantasyland. So even including rides that don't even have Fast Pass or Lightning Lane.
Mm.
You get reserved seating for parades and nighttime spectaculars.
Mm.
You get a dedicated tour guide who handles every detail from your planning itinerary to getting foods and snacks for you. So no having to move.
Oh wow! This is the way I'm going to go next time.
You get complimentary valet parking at.
Go with me.
You get complimentary valet parking at for the Grand California.
Okay.
You get an exclusive VIP tour collectible pin.
Well, that's cool.
And they will assist with booking for the Blue Bayou or whatever extra places. The cost of the experience is not included in the price, but they will help you. They'll probably fast track you into making sure you get that reservation. So it ranges from $500 to $800 per hour, just really the date that you go visit. But on the low end, $500, and you can get 10 people.
I like that.
Sean?
Yeah, well, how do we make this a company expense? And
subscribe to the channel, folks, so that we can go and try the tour and make a report on it.
Exactly. So how many hours would you actually spend in the park if you were going to do this? So it's a minimum of 7, but the park's open for what, 12, 14 hours?
18
hours? So I don't think I would want to be in the park for 18 hours if I already have ridden all the rides because
you can knock them all out.
You can knock them all out in a couple hours if there's no lines.
Yeah, the max is you can buy up to 10 hours, and it's 7 minimum.
Oh, it's a max of 10.
Mm-hmm. But still, I think it's worth it, especially like if you have a decent, like a 10-person group.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at a pretty good opportunity there. So I think this is the best way if you have the money. Especially if you're considering doing the $450 per person in your party for the premiere, because you still have to schedule everything. And you still have to wait in line.
Yeah. So if you did this, would you do this twice, once for each park, or do you think you could probably knock out both parks in 7 hours or 10 hours between the two? However, you would want to do this during the times that the parades are happening and to be there for the fireworks.
Yeah. So
that means
walk 7 hours
rope
before
drop.
10. Yeah.
Don't bother rope dropping. Get in there.
Well, you can still rope drop. So that's where the value is. You can still rope drop in the morning and just pick up your VIP after you've already done some of the rides.
Oh. So yeah, okay. So this includes a park pass, so you can go in and then say, okay, I want my VIP stuff to hit at 2:00.
Yeah. So it's very interesting, right? Because you can go and do like the first 2 to 3 hours that the park is dead in the morning, knock out as many rides as you can there, do your 7-hour block, and then get it to finish right when the fireworks end. So then the last 2 hours of the park, you're gonna do as many rides as the first 3
that'd be
hours.
good because they'll put you right in the front of the fireworks.
Yeah, it's worth every penny.
Yeah. Well, I think you need to do 2 days though, so you'd have to double the cost because you want to do both parks completely at this.
So, and you can do multiple rides multiple times. You just got to be looping back. You got to get out of line, come back in.
Well, that's perfect. This is the perfect way to do Disney.
Just call them up.
Other than
They have a phone
cost,
number.
I'm not seeing a downside.
What?
Other than the cost, I'm not seeing a downside.
No, that and the best part is, have you seen that episode of Blackish? It was Blackish. I think it was Blackish. Have you seen this?
Maybe. I've seen shows here and there.
There's a
When
show
I
called
used to
Blackish.
watch-
It was on.
Yeah, when I still used to watch network TV.
Yeah. So there's a show on ABC that ran from 2014 until, I don't know, 2022, called Blackish. And there's a scene where they get the VIP thing and they're telling everybody, "Watch out, people, VIP coming through." because you got to remember, you have a tour guide with you, and everybody that's at the parks knows to look for the person with the special outfit and try to figure out which celebrity it is.
Yeah.
You can pretend to be a celebrity.
Yeah. Well, this goes. I don't know if I told you this story. I may have. My marketing guy for my company, we were in Vegas together, and I was using one of my hotel comps at one of the casinos, and they put us up at the penthouse, so we were at the very top floor of the hotel, and we get in the elevator, and there's already a couple in the elevator, and I do the badge and hit the penthouse button, and her eyes just turned into giant saucers. She's like, and then she's like nudging her boyfriend or husband or whatever. Who are these guys? You know, they thought we were some sort of celebrities or something for going up to the penthouse.
Freaking shock.
Hey, you could look like the comedian. Let's make you look like the Alex.
I know, right?
Comedian guy.
All I'll tell you, Sean, if I had to do the VIP experience though, or get annual passes for Disneyland, I'll probably get the annual passes for Disneyland.
I mean, for us, it makes sense because we live close by.
Now, definitely, I want to talk about this in another episode. But there was one time that I was stranded in Orlando and had nothing to do. So I looked up online, and there was a available VIP tour of Disney World the next day. So I booked it, and it wasn't anything like this VIP thing. This was a more of a behind the scenes, and you get to see how things were being run, and you get to go to each park in like 6 hours, and they dropped you off at Magic Kingdom for the rest of the day. And it was only like, I think it was like $180 or something. And so I jumped on that. And I had a great time. And it's probably worth 2 or 3 episodes worth of stories.
I think we'll have to do our best Disney experiences episode.
Oh, that's a hard one for me.
Speaking of which, though, we'll have to end this one here. And we did not get a chance to talk about the havoc that happened at Disneyland this week. But depending on which report you read, either 5, 7, or 8 employees went to the hospital because of a hazmat exposure this past week.
Was that the video footage that I sent you?
No, I was looking for that one, but I couldn't find that one.
Why didn't we start with this story?
I thought you were going to bring up the swatting incident. I'm like, there's nearly nothing.
Oh yeah, and there was swatting too. I totally forgot about that one.
Wasn't there a shooting too?
That was a swatting.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they walked the guy from the park, because it seemed like he was very cooperative in the video.
This was a streamer?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so the Disneyland takes streaming very interesting when it's a big streamer like that. That's why the Mr. Beast way of doing this is the best way, where you spend $500,000 and get the parks to yourself.
Yeah. I'll just take this extra money I have lying around here. Yeah.
Have I told you that Mr. Beast figured out a way to expense his trip to Disneyland?
No, but it shouldn't be that hard to expense a trip to Disneyland.
Yeah, no. Well, he did an episode where he took out his wife on a date, or his girlfriend on a fiance on a date, and it was a $1 date all the way to a $500,000 date for the YouTube video. So he expended $500,000 expense to Disney.
Oh, if you can prove that it's an actual business expense, it's
I mean,
not
they
hard.
did a video. They needed to get the cast and crew there.
It all depends if when the IRS comes knocking, if they're convinced.
Well, I think for Mr. Beast, because the IRS says it's got to be what necessary and ordinary, right? But when Mr. Beast is giving out away $1 million in every video, spending $500,000 seems like not unreasonable.
All right. Well, we really should either end it now or trim the last 5 minutes.
Subscribe to the channel, folks. Hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.